Hey gang, Yuvi here. Today we're at Don Asbee's studio. He's my friend and my blacksmithing mentor, and he's got a pretty unique setup where he hangs a small Miller 211 Mig Welder from a jib crane, which makes it really accessible, very handy to have a setup like this, and it's pretty unique. I haven't really seen other people do anything like this, so I asked him to share it with you guys, and that's what we're going to look at right now. There's Don grinding away at something. So Don, this is a welder you take on site for your installs.
That is correct. I run this off of a Harbor Freight 7,000 watt running watts generator, and it works really well. This welder with flux core wire is capable of far more than I expected in terms of being able to weld half-inch steel without any problem. So it meets all my needs for general on-site fabrication. And one of the things that I wanted to do to have it more useful in the studio was to be able to use the larger MIG reels that I'm using. I believe they're 33-pound spools, and it's a lot less expensive than using the small rolls that fit on to this hub here. When I'm out in the field though, I will put on a 10-pound spool of flux core wire. So what I did was I just cut a hole in the back, and I had made this apparatus here for a previous MIG welder that I had. It was a Miller Challenger 172, and one of the reasons why I wanted to stay with the Miller welder was because with a small amount of modification I could use this newer Miller 211 and still use the original configuration. I had looked at the Lincoln welders, but the drive unit is on the other side of the machine, and it just didn't look like it was going to be very easy to use this adapter for my in-studio use. The old Challenger Miller had the wire feeding underneath, and this one has got the more ergonomic slant to the drive roller, so I had to put this hole at the top of the cabinet instead of the bottom. It's working out really well, and I can move this throughout the studio on this tool boom in much the same way I move my larger Lincoln welders.
Cool. And then can you show me how you've attached it to the handle, where the handle used to be?
There was a handle right in the top here, and I just took the handle off and used, with a small amount of modification, mounting right here to the top of the machine where it's anchored into the frame of the machine. And there's also a little bit of support on this handle back here. It's resting on the back part of the boom adapter. And then what I can do when I'm ready to lift this off of the boom with one of my hoists, I can just hook into here and lift it right off after unplugging the power cord and detaching the CO2 line. Comes off there pretty easy. The best thing about this welder is that it is under 40 pounds, so it's a lot more manageable than the old transformer welder that this has replaced.
And it's very handy in the shop, even with the other welders around. I really prefer to use this a lot if we're doing a light welding.
Yes, this has got some automatic features that are really handy. It's got a slow start MIG drive that makes it my understanding is that by the time that wire gets to the puddle, or by the time you're ready to tack something together, for example, the slow start enables the wire to get fully energized before it contacts the metal. And it is a set it and forget it arrangement. You have the settings for stainless, for flux core, for using the CO2 25, or in my case, I use the CO2 100%. And then it's also got a setting for the spool gun with aluminum. And then you just dial in here the wire size you're using, and here would be references to how thick the metal is that you're using. But I'm finding this thing to be really underrated. So a lot of times I'll have to dial it back. If I'm welding 1/4 inch, there are times when it seems like you have to get it closer to 3/16, which is not a bad thing. This thing is, rated at 3/8, but I have not had any problems doing welds on 1/2 inch material. The only thing is it does not have a duty cycle that these bigger welders have. That's the drawback. If you're going to be doing backhoe buckets, this is not the welder for you.
And then you've got your shielding gas line just snaked through here, and it I think goes all the way over this way, and the tank is tucked away over here.
And that CO2 tank is feeding the 3 MIG welders in the studio.
Awesome, Don. Well, thanks for taking your time.
Happy to do it.
All right, gang. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. I love hanging out here with Don, as I'm sure you guys do. Look out for more videos with Don. He really wants to share his knowledge with you guys, and he's just amazing, isn't he? Anyhow, subscribe, like for more videos, and peace.